OMT Online Dynasty, we are back for our Week 0 Game of the Week featuring a traditional Flexbone triple option offense as Havs 24 and his Georgia State Panthers using the Navy offense will be taking on Western Kentucky Cord, and he will be in the modern spread option, triple option type of offense of the Rice Owls. I know it is his first game using it. We'll see how it ends up going. That's a playbook we're trying out too. It's it can get a little dicey, but I'm excited for this one. We know Georgia State was one of the most exciting teams in all of season 2. As we are kicking off season 3, it feels right for us to get started there. And our guy Cord has been in this dynasty since the very beginning, so shout out to you. Want to make sure we highlight our guys. So what we do for these games of the week, if you have never seen one of these before, we have a 32 user online dynasty going. Everybody had to take a group of 5 team that was 2 stars or below at the very start. Obviously, we took Old Dominion. We played our CPU game against Virginia Tech. And then throughout the year, we not only post our own gameplay, we highlight some of the community members here as well. There's a ton of different styles of play in this dynasty. I think that's what makes it so much dang fun. As we're going to see in this one, we're going to see Navy versus Rice. We've got some air raid. We've got some veer and shoot. We've got quite a bit of Flexbone. That's kind of been taken over a little bit. So it's a whole bunch of different styles, a whole bunch of different things. It's a whole heck of a lot of fun. We're going to have game breaks featuring one of our other user versus user games that was going on. Our defending national champion, Utah State, taking on Florida International. Took me a second to remember. We'll have a halftime update of our third. I think we had 3 user games in week 0. I'm pretty sure that was it. James Madison against Oregon State. We're going to try to use these. We're going to keep them a little bit shorter is the plan. I do like to ramble quite a bit, as you're probably aware. The plan is to keep these a little bit shorter and kind of highlight a little bit more than just our main game. Kind of try to keep everybody up to date with what's going on across the entire dynasty. Week 0 is going to be kind of our testing ground for it, so you guys will have to let me know what you think. But as usual with the game of the week, first we are going to go check out the depth charts of both of these teams. We will start with the visitors, Havs 24 and his Georgia State squad. And a key piece to really being able to unlock the full potential of these triple option offenses is a good fast quarterback. Georgia State has one here with Rich the Bellin Wall. Magician, Option King, Sidestep, 91 speed, 94 acceleration. We're expecting some big plays out of this guy. Now, they did lose their star halfback from last year. I want to say it was DJ Murray, something like that. I'm pretty sure he ended up at JMU because everybody ends up at JMU. The guy gets an unbelievable team. He's a great recruiter. He gets the best players to come in, and JMU's got sick helmets and everything. Speaking of which, we will see that with Western Kentucky too. Their alternates are unbelievable. But even without him, we have got another stud halfback waiting in the wings here with redshirt junior KJ Jackson, a shifty sidestep, 94 speed, 97 XL halfback, really going to be dangerous on those rocket tosses and runs like that. Behind him we have Darius McIver, also with 92 speed, 97 XL, and a silver takeoff, which makes sense to have a takeoff if you're going to be running a lot of Flexbone like we know Georgia State does. I think it's Flexbone tight that he runs all the time, or not all the time, but pretty often. I'm pretty sure that's it. So actually, considering the offense he's in, we will look at who he's got at fullback. That's Tawan. I'll go with Tawan Payton, 90 speed, 90 XL. So he's not really a big blocking back. He is an elusive bruiser, which is nice, but having that speed and XL on an elusive bruiser on your fullback, love this backfield of Georgia State. Love how this is set up. Wide receiver wise, we've got Austin McGee, 360 double dip recoup and gold sidestep, 5'8", 94 speed, 94 XL. The speed Georgia State has on this offense is pretty miraculous. This is again, and I said during year 2, I will say throughout this year as well, overall it's important, but it's not the end all be all. So yeah, he's a 65 overall with his 66 offense, but look at the speed and excel and abilities he has across his offensive skill positions. This is going to play a lot higher than a 66 overall offense. I really like what Georgia State's done here heading into year 3. And look at these tight ends too. Sage Reynolds, only 75 overall, really a 73, playing up to 75. 88 speed, 89 XL. His tight end too, 87 speed, 80. Okay, that's somebody who's gotten moved to tight end. There's no way there's a 5'8", 177 tight end here with Kyle Washington. Can't imagine he's going to help out a whole heck of a lot in in the run blocking situations. Take a quick look at the offensive line. We're not going to spend too much time on offensive line or really on defense. We're just going to kind of flip through defense, see if there's really anything that stands out, any like big abilities or anything. Workhorse, we're going to see on a ton of D tackles. Silver pocket disruptor though. Again, we're seeing what I was saying about the offense. He's only 72 overall, but a silver pocket disruptor is really, really good to have on our D tackle. Even if he is a low overall, that's nice. 89 speed on our Sam linebacker. Love that. Good speed on our Mike linebackers. Of course, this is what we try to set up with ODU as well. Defensively, Georgia State is in the 4-2-5, so we will check his sub linebackers and everything too. Good speed on his two corners. A nice house call here on Causey. Again, 72 overall, but he's 6 foot tall, 94 speed, and with silver house call. You take that all day long, and you're thrilled about it. Quentin Reddish, 6'3", 91 speed. I mean, he is an 84 overall. So that kind of goes against a little bit of the point we were making. Check his sub linebackers really quick. He will be running Derek Maxey and Mason Harmon as his two linebackers over the middle in the 4-2-5 defense. We'll see what formation he actually comes out in, but that is Georgia State. Very impressed with the team you've put together here so far. Even if your overall is low, I love the pieces you got on the squad. I think this in that Navy offense could be a lot of fun to watch. So let's go check out what Cord has put together for his Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. And really, we're looking for a lot of the same things that we see if we are running a Navy offense. We need a good, fast, mobile quarterback. Okay. So Greg Bulaga, the Bulaga Whale. 84 overall, 88 speed, 89 excel. All very good. All works. 99 agility, 99 change of direction. I'm wondering maybe what, because we do allow manual progression, so maybe that's where he put his progression points, but having 99 agility, 99 change of direction on your quarterback is fairly insane. We'll see how that plays out for him if we're going to be using the thing with Rice though, compared to like the standard Flexbone playbooks, not as many quarterback runs. You do have quite a few triple options and things, but like in Navy, you have designed quarterback draws out of things like Flexbone empty. You have some QB counter runs. You've got a few more things that makes a running quarterback a little bit better, but still really nice to have a quarterback like that running the Rice offense. Now at halfback, we've got Cameron Bolden, 88 speed, 90 excel with a platinum safety valve, which is nice. I personally, my thing with the Rice playbook is I really do think the passes are really solid out of it, especially out of shotgun. I think I like the shotgun wingback stuff from Rice a little bit more than the pistol. I'm curious to see how Cord is going to run it in this one. Backup wise, Corey Landers, because we do want... Well, it depends on what you want to do with Rice, because in a Navy playbook, you use your two halfbacks and your fullback. In Rice, you can use one halfback and then your slot wide receivers as your wingbacks. So I'll be interested to see if we're going to use like Watkins and Costa, our two fastest guys, and 6'1", 6'2", as our slot receivers here with Western Kentucky. We'll have to check that just because he's in that Rice playbook, and it's going to impact quite a bit how he can play. I really like the looks of this tight end, Brady Priestcorn, the old Ole Miss tight end, like from a year ago. Wasn't his last name Priestcorn? I'm going to assume they're related. 6 foot, that'd be crazy if they just had that same last name and both play tight end and aren't related, so I'm going to go with they are. 6'6", 252, 50-50 on him. I'm already rambling. We just started. I just talked about how I need to stop rambling, but that's going to be tough to do. A gold pocket disruptor on a redshirt freshman, Vernon Thacker. Quite the look on that guy. Okay, that's nice. More workhorses across the D-line. No surprise there. A gold pocket disruptor on Eric Etienne. This guy better be on your field here. Western Kentucky is going to be in the multiple defense as well, by the way. 93 speed, 6'2" on a true freshman, Ian Abanikanda, and a wrap up. Hello. Hello, Dolly. And a Mike linebacker with 86 speed, knockout house call and bouncer. Love the linebackers. Love the defensive line as long as we're putting those pocket disruptors in there. Liking what we're seeing out of this Western Kentucky defense. Corners, I mean, jammer, blanket coverage, quick jump, that does kind of have to play somewhere. Maybe as your slot corner, because you have 91 speed, 92 speed here with ball hawk and house call. I don't know. I'd maybe put those guys outside. Myers, because 85 speed is... I wouldn't love having that on the outside. So we'll check his slot receivers and his slot corner. Solid enough free safety. 6'2", 89 speed. We like that. 77 overall. A platinum house call on your 84 overall strong safety. Now, I really like the looks of Western Kentucky's defense. Depending on who we've got at our rush positions. Yeah, see, I just think we need... it's kind of tricky because we know we're going against a triple option, but we need those abilities somewhere on our defensive line. Like, this has got to be your rush D tackle 1 or 2. We need that pocket disruptor at whatever edge spot it was as one of our rush ends. We need to make sure those guys are getting on the field here. Our sub linebackers are going to be Stevens and Apanaconda. Makes a lot of sense, like what we see there. Slot corner is going to be Braxton Myers. Love that. Slot receivers is going to be Costa and Jared Sharp. Having press pro is kind of nice, but maybe a little bit more speed at the slot receiver might be kind of nice. So that is how these two squads are set up. The Navy triple option versus the Rice triple option. What a fun way for us to get started. Let's just head over to the game. Good luck to Habs. Good luck to Cord. Let's get to it. And actually, really quick, I do want to point out, I mentioned the Western Kentucky uniforms. Look at how many options he has got with this Western Kentucky team. Just going through the alternates now. We're going to go through all the different helmets in a second. I'm so jealous. This was the main reason I was even thinking of going away from ODU. So I just don't have these kind of helmet options. He's got big red. He's got at least two. He might have 3 different big red style, just big red helmets. Like, God, I'm so jealous. All right, now we can get to the actual game. Speaking of big red, there is the big man himself. I want to say, I know Cord said before that big red is supposed to be like the spirit of the Western Kentucky people or something like that. It's just a big red blob, so I don't know what that says about the people of Western Kentucky, but here come the Hilltoppers one way or the other, ready to make their home debut here in our 2027 season number 3. Let's see how the boys can do. Here comes Georgia State, the Panthers ready to take the field. We know Georgia State's gonna be very tough in the Sun Belt. I'm rambling again. Let's just get to the game. Georgia State will take that for touchback, and what I think we're going to do to try to speed these up a little bit too, we'll watch the full first offensive drives of each team, and then it's just going to be a little more condensed, kind of looking at highlights. But I want to see how each first drive goes for these guys. This is all from Cord's perspective, by the way, Western Kentucky. But I want to see the full first drives of these guys, and then we can start bouncing around a little bit and take it in from there. So we're setting some hook drops. I wasn't even paying attention. Bang up job by me to get this season started. So staying with a 4 down, going with that quick little out route to Jackson. That guy, I'm telling you, this backfield of Georgia State is going to be a huge problem all day long for this Western Kentucky defense. I mean, at least we got some good speed at our linebackers and our outside corners, but if he's targeting that slot defender, that slot corner, that's going to make it tough. So we got to respect. Yeah, you got to respect the rocket toss. Look at that guy go. KJ Jackson. He's a shifty guy. See, another 99 agility, 99 change of direction. So I'm guessing each team had a little bit of some manual upgrades they were doing to their squad. So staying in the Flexbone, what was I? Oh yeah, we got to respect that rocket toss, especially when it's going to somebody like KJ Jackson. But Georgia State knows we have to respect that rocket toss and runs a lot of play action using that same rocket toss motion. So it's a very difficult defense for us to go up against, offense to go up against. Flexbone empty, we saw him run this quite a few times last year. It was pretty much always a wingback sweep, which would go to number 7 here. So that's kind of what I'm expecting for Georgia State to do here again. We will see. There's the motion. There is the wingback sweep, but that defensive end, number 36 of Western Kentucky, does a great job getting into that backfield, bring him down for a loss. That's some Flexbone over doubles. I have no idea what to expect out of this formation. I've not really looked into this one at all from the Navy playbook. See, there goes that rocket motion again. Another play fake. That defensive end just sheds straight through, but the speed of the Bellin wall is able to get outside that rush and pick up 8 yards in what should have been a potential loss of 8. Instead of a 4th and 19, now we have got a 4th and 3 and a manageable down in distance for the Panthers. I imagine we'll be going forward here when we're on Western Kentucky's 45-yard line. We will indeed. Pistol full house. I love the triple option out of pistol full house. I think it's one of the better ones in the game. I like it more out of pistol because it gives you a little bit more time to even make that read. And just the inside run seems really good. So we'll see what he's going to stick with. I mean, just from formation, A run up the middle might be tough. I like the contains. I like the send and 5 on defense. It is the triple option. He tries to get outside. He tries to get the late pitch off, but Bellin gets brought down by the Hilltopper defense for forcing an early turnover on downs. And that will actually send us to our first game break here. Utah State taking on FIU, the defending national champion, Utah State Aggies. In a little bit of trouble early here. 4.5 minutes to go in the first drive for FAU. Already down to first and goal at the 4-yard line. Just hands it off to their big boy. Rides the back of the defense. Gets in for the early FIU touchdown and a 7-point lead for the Panthers. Good stuff there. That is Boder, is Utah State boys, and Rhett for Florida International. So we will check in on that game a few more times here. Let's get back to our main event. Western Kentucky picking up 5 yards there. We saw Georgia State's first full drive. We'll see Western Kentucky's first full drive, and then start skipping around a little bit to the bigger moments of the game, because I didn't even see how they picked up 5 yards there. We were doing a game break. I was distracted. Looks like we are in some shotgun wingback. I like the looks of that. Bulaga. Gonna do a little triple option. Give it right up the gut. Number 49, that is Cameron Bolden. Picking up a nice gain of 5. Setting up a 3rd and inches. We're just going to some goal line. Okay. Going power versus power. We're trusting our big boys up front versus your big boys up front. Let's meet in the middle and see what happens here, buddy. Look at number 20 standing like Ashton Genty. We're just going to go a fullback dive right up the gut to the half, to the, I don't even know. That must be backup tight end. It's a guy I didn't even have written down. So number 88, shout out to you for picking up that first down. Western Kentucky threatening here. Probably not in field goal range quite yet, but getting there. Already at Georgia State's 41. Now we're going with a little bit of empty. Really running the gamut here of offensive formations, going from goal line to a 5-wide set. Let's see what Bulaga. We got a little mesh going underneath. We can hit triangle, take that nice and easy one. There is Costa, probably the best receiver on Western Kentucky, just from looking at their depth chart and looking at the options they got. I think Costa could stand out and have a really good season for the Hilltoppers here. Down to the 29 going, which is some spread. Rice has some pretty crazy plays in their spread, like this one. A little motion triple option going out to the short side of the field. That way we just had to keep that, and it's a fumble and scooped up by big boy Lawson, number 91 of Georgia State. Gets a little hiccup there, but then gets a little giddy up in his step, and the Panthers defense just a little late pitch, maybe a little rusty on that read. That should have gone to the halfback, but I make those reads wrong all the time, so I really have no room to judge anybody. But touchdown, Georgia State's defense. Now we'll go ahead and jump ahead a little bit. Western Kentucky's moved the ball fairly decently here so far, up to their own 41-yard line. A 2nd and 8, minute left here in the first quarter. We're going back to, I do like the empty bunch wide out of Rice. It reminds me, I think South Carolina has a very similar formation, but they have a 4 verticals in theirs. That is unbelievable. I don't know. I still think it might be impossible to defend. So we got a little wheel route on Costa, a drag route coming on circle, have the drag route. Instead, we try to go deep over the middle, and the user of Georgia State is there to pick it off. 2 costly turnovers here in the first quarter for Western Kentucky. We're moving the ball. It's just those mistakes are absolutely killer, and that is actually going to send us to our second game break here. Still in the first quarter, 26 seconds left. Florida International. It took me a few tries to get there, and it took a second for that to pop up too. Florida International up by 7 with the ball, 3rd and 5 at Utah State's 30-yard line, as there's a big play for Georgia State there as well. A little double mug defense from Utah State going for the big man blitz. Instead, we find McNeil on the quick slant, and the defending national champion Utah State Aggies are on the ropes here, down 17-3 in the first quarter in, gosh, where, Miami? Yeah, because it's like Pitbull Stadium or something in Miami. Something ridiculous like that. 17-3 lead. Shout out Rhett and his Florida International Panthers getting off to a hot start there. A little 5-yard penalty there on Georgia State. We will skip ahead a little bit. I want to see this Flexbone empty and just see if it's anything other than wingback sweep. So I do think the QB draw out of here is pretty good, especially with a quarterback like Georgia State has. So I just kind of want to see what else he's going to do out of here. So I feel like it's been wingback sweep every time. But I just also feel like that can't be true. See, there we go. Nice little pass, a little mesh. That is going to be a deadly play out of there, but a big hit and a fumble. We're covered by Western Kentucky, getting their fumble back on Georgia State there. We weren't able to take it for 6 quite that time, but still gets the huge turnover, keeps it a 1-score game, taken over at midfield. What a play by the Hilltoppers defense when they needed it the most. But now can Western Kentucky keep that momentum? A couple plays later, we got a 4th and 5 just on Georgia State's side of the 50. We saw the Panthers go for it in a similar situation earlier. Got a little lucky with a drop pick there. We're going back to our 5 wide, back to the same play. I'm wondering if we saw that drag was open last time and we're going back to it. Yeah, I think that's what it was, but the user stays down that time. Wasn't nearly as aggressive of a defense. The user's able to stay down, stay on that drag, force that knockout, turnover on downs. Unfortunate for Western Kentucky, 3 drives, all 3 variants of a turnover. We could have a fumble that really unfortunately got brought back for 6. An interception and a turnover on downs. Let's see if that defense can stand tall and make another big play. 35 was pretty close. That's our 93 speed Anaconda. Almost getting in there and making a play, but so ball at the 40 for Georgia State. I feel like we can just watch this drive at this point. So I feel like a score for Georgia State is pretty massive. I liked what we've seen so far out of Western Kentucky's offense. Like we're, getting the ball, at least moving it a little bit. It's just those little mistakes are absolutely killing us. So 2nd and 6 now for the Panthers, coming back out in Flexbone empty. So we've seen the wingback sweep, and we've seen kind of a mesh kind of play. A mesh between those wingbacks would be so difficult to guard. And that was just looked like an all go. We had the crosser coming from the right, a slant coming from the left. Another thing, just with that speed Georgia State has, is going to be very, very difficult for a defense to try to keep up with. Love that play. Now in Flexbone normal, I'm watching rocket toss potentially out here to the left now that we're on the right hash. Instead, it is a little X dig going right down to that drag. One of the best pass plays in all of Flexbone. I know I've said it before. I will say it every single time. X dig is an unbelievable pass play. If you run any version of Flexbone, you need to have that in your playbook. That drag route that your halfback one is on, number 7 here, KJ Jackson for Georgia State, is just so good. So go for the fullback dive right up the middle. 2nd and goal now, down at the 2. Georgia State looking to extend the lead to 2 scores here. Wonder maybe we will just see some more fullback dives to Mr. Tuwan Payton. We're guessing so on defense. We're sending a big blitz here. Goes with a QB counter option. The Bellin wall crosses the goal line, fakes out the entire defense. Beautiful play call there by Georgia State. Lets the quarterback just walk on in. Touch it down, Panthers. Let's see if the Hilltoppers can get something going in this Rice playbook. And they are indeed getting a little something going here. Going to a little bit of hurry up, already down to the Panthers' 35-yard line. Just kind of dinked and dunked. Trusted the run game of Western Kentucky and got us all the way down the field here. So we got 7 in the box, but we got a lot of guys in there to block too. And there goes Cameron Bolden, a run right up the gut. An injury to the defensive tackle of Georgia State. I mean, that makes me want to run even more. But instead, it looks like we are going to not do that and go to some 5 wide. Going with this screen, I thought this screen looked pretty interesting. But I feel like we're just trusting those guys to block for a long time. Let's see. Oh, we got it though. Now hold your blocks out there. Beautiful. And get outside Costa Rica. It's probably Costa Rica. Nickname still works. I believe that should take us right down to the 2-minute warning potentially, but we will see. And indeed it did. So 2 minutes left just outside the red zone, going back to some spread, some smash corners. The middle looks awful tempting right about now. I like throwing a little drag in there. He sure likes his stunts. Yeah, just get out and run. When we got the Bulaga Whale, which maybe that's not a fitting nickname with his 99 agility and 99 change of direction. But if we can get out of the pocket with him, and at least make Georgia State kind of respect the quarterback runs, because that's a really good way to attack stunts too, is being able to scramble with your quarterback. And there goes Bolden right up the gut. Mark it down in bold. That is a touchdown for Western Kentucky with their new American Conference patch on. We are back down to a 1-score game, which is going to send us to our next game break. 2 minutes left. Utah State and FIU. Utah State has brought it back to a 7-point ball game here. 17-10, 3rd and 4. Ball at the FIU 24-yard line. Darian Mensah, the new quarterback for Utah State, as the rich continue to get richer. You got to be careful pressing this Utah State team because they have got speed all over the field, and there is a little taste of it. James burns his man on the drag. Utah State in for the touchdown against big man blitz, and just like that, that game has gone from 17-3 to 17-17. The defending national champions not ready to roll over just yet. And as we get back to our main event here, Western Kentucky's defense was actually able to force a 3-and out, getting the ball back now. 19 seconds left in the half. Ball at Georgia State's 42. Finds the underneath, and there's Costa Rica one more time, pushing it down to the 26-yard line. Looks like the Hilltoppers have found some good success here out of this Rice playbook. They have really been cooking here so far. Going with the run to Bolden up the middle, I assume just to set up an easier field goal attempt here. Just kind of get it right in the middle of the field. 5 seconds left, no timeouts. Yeah, you got to just take your 3 here. Make it a 4-point game heading into half. If it wasn't for those dang turnovers, man, I feel like Western Kentucky could be in the lead here. Especially, oh my gosh. Oh, how did he miss that? I don't know how that wasn't a blocked field goal there. Georgia State was the victim of multiple blocked field goals last season. Looked like he had one of his own there, but not to be. So 1 second left. We'll just watch the end of this half, I suppose. Just go ahead and go short, and that'll take us to halftime. Risky boy move there. But that'll take us to half with Georgia State a 4-point lead. And as we hit halftime here, let's check in on our last user game. We did have 3 throughout week 0. We don't have any highlights on this. Unfortunately, neither person was streaming on Twitch. Not required. Not a big deal. No problem. But James Madison, the number 22 ranked team in the country, the only one in our dynasty with 12 user games. Shout out to you, Supersonic. ODU and Utah State have 11. Starts off week 0 with a win in Corvallis against Oregon State, looking to repeat their undefeated regular season of last year, now in the Sun Belt. Oregon State in the Mountain West. 35-21. James Madison comes away with the victory in that one. Let's get to the second half here. Western Kentucky down by 4. Found a few good things on offense. We go for the triple option, and again, not again, the Bulaga Whale lets the ball hit the turf. And is that the second one for number 91 of Georgia State? Was it the same guy both times with the scoop and score for the Panthers? They are taking advantage of these Western Kentucky turnovers, and just like that, now we pushed it to a 2-score game. Devastating stuff, and a flag on the penalty, or on the kick, roughing the kicker. CPU loves to do that. So 21-10 now for Georgia State. That's just really unfortunate for Western Kentucky. The turnovers have certainly been the story of the game so far. But speaking of games and game breaks, we got one last one here with Utah State and FIU. Game tied at 17, 33 seconds left before halftime here. Another example of why we just cannot press these Utah State wide receivers. Watch James in the left slot over here. We come out pressed, no safety help over the top. Platinum takeoff on James. Mensah hits it with the pressure right in his face, gets the throw to James. Too fast. Those abilities are good. Utah State's going to beat the crap out of Old Dominion later in the season. I've come to peace with it. It's okay. Touchdown Utah State, and from there, the floodgates really opened up with that 7-point lead at halftime. That one ended up being a 59-24. Utah State's offense was completely unstoppable from that point on. They were able to come away with the win here in week 0. Defending champions, number 13 in the country, Utah State in the Mountain West, FIU in the Sun Belt. Utah State gets the victory. And the Hilltoppers offense unable to get anything going. They were forced to punt it back to Georgia State, who are already threatening again here. Got to keep it a field goal. Got to keep it a 2-score game. There again is kind of that fake motion, and what the user defense of Stevens the second all over that play from the jump, makes the user lurk, gets the user interception. There's a little momentum, there's a little spark for this Hilltoppers team. Now, can the offense keep that advantage, keep that pressure on, make this a 1-score game again? Let's see what the Hilltoppers got here. How about Trey Ford, wide receiver? Love the looks of this formation out of the Rice playbook. We're trying to sneak a little screen over here to the left against the big man blitz. That's a beautiful time to set that up. Good lead blocking out there by the boys. Little late hit there on Georgia State. Boys playing a little bit dirty, but Bolden takes that one for a nice gain down to the 31-yard line. Touchdown, 2-point conversion, 3-point game. I'm feeling it. I can see it. I'm hoping. Of course, this will all happen before. This is all recording. I try not to pay too much attention to the games as they're going on. Just so I can be surprised and give like genuine reactions when I see some crazy things happen, like we have seen in this one with the 2 fumble sixes. And there comes that stunt That's why it's important, and it's a thing we've tried to focus on. I need to stunt more because we've really tried to get some speed on our defensive line, because that is going to help the stunts a lot, especially against a scrambling quarterback. We do try to throw that slant. It looked like it could have been there. Maybe we need to highball that. Maybe, I am not entirely sure, but it did look like he was potentially past the defender there. Instead, Quentin Reddish stays right in front of it, gets the interception. Turnovers continue to haunt the Hilltoppers. And the Panthers now looking to extend that lead. Ball at their own 24, 1st and 10. We go in with a toss out to Jackson, and there goes that man. That 99 change of direction and agility. Nobody is catching him on this Hilltoppers defense. That's the Jackson 6, in for 6 points. Touchdown Panthers, making this one an 18-point game and potentially putting this one out of reach. But Western Kentucky ain't giving up just yet. We got another solid drive going here to the 40-yard line. I'd be curious to see the box score after this. Go with the power read right up the gut to our big boy number 88, rumbling, stumbling, bumbling his way, Mr. Galloway. Picking up a huge chunk of change, getting them down to the 23-yard line. But yeah, I'd be curious to see the box score at the end of this, because I feel like yardage-wise, Western Kentucky might even have the advantage. I mean, that 85-yard run or whatever it was we just saw from Georgia State, surely he's going to do a lot of damage in that category. But I wouldn't be shocked at all if Western Kentucky finishes this game at least very close in yardage. We go for the deep corner route, nearly intercepted. What is the flag on this one? Holding. Gosh, what is with the holding penalties? I swear there's so many gosh dang holding penalties now since the patch, like, I don't know, I feel like a month ago or something like that. And we just see so many holding penalties and like OPIs and just a lot of bad things. Now that sets us back to a 1st and 20, going with a little jet motion, going with trying a little speed option out to the left. Georgia State not having it. The pistol spread is one of the pistol formations I haven't really looked at too much with Rice yet. I think there's some potential to it, but overall, I'm going to start just focus on the shotgun stuff, because I think there's a lot of really good stuff in this shotgun. But now Cord in Western Kentucky, backs against the wall, going a little 5 wide, all go. Outside corner blitz, just roll out to the right. Yep, take your little check down. Who else but Costa Rica being able to pick up 20 yards when we needed it. We could have taken off and ran that. Give it to Costa. You could take your pick. You could have done whatever you wanted on that one. That's the downside of those stunts, especially against a fast quarterback like this. Good user defense watching in the middle, but he falls off. We find who else? Costa Rica in for the touchdown. Western Kentucky showing a little bit of life. Go ahead, get some dance moves in there. Big Red, you can still see him back there on that back line going nuts. 11-point game. Can the defense clutch up one more time and get another stop here? And it's not looking great. That number 7, what's his name, Daniels on Georgia State, has just been an absolute Jackson has been an absolute menace for Georgia State. 122 receiving yards, 99 rush yards, and that 85, or I think it was like 75 yard touchdown. Guy has been everywhere. He almost, just from his build, he almost looks like he was a quarterback or something. So he doesn't have a running back build. So I feel like he might have been a position change, like he recruited an athlete or something like that. Or maybe he just was a quarterback. We found the check down there to McIver. Really here for Western Kentucky, and we can even keep them to a field goal and keep this a 2-score game. We've shown some explosive plays out of this offense. And I feel like we have a shot, but I mean, ideally, in a perfect world, we're forcing a turnover in this spot again. Another fumble, maybe going right back up the gut. There goes Peyton. Those fullback dives can be such a pain. Who the heck? I think it was Vancey in his Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns. We watched a few times throughout year 2. Really utilizes those fullback dives to their potential. And man, are they! It's just so much you have to worry about going against these types of offenses. And with our new Sun Belt, we'll go over all the conferences. That, oh my goodness! Right in the, oh my god. What an interception by Eugene Jr. And then he tried to hurdle the guy on the ground and got almost split in half by the Georgia State defender, but he holds onto the ball. That's exactly what we needed. We've had a few big plays by this defense to hopefully spark the offense a little bit. Let's see if they can take advantage this time. So you going, yep, right to the flat. User's gonna be too slow to get out there. Okay, or it'll just sail right over his head. That's cool too. Yeah, what I was saying with the conference realignment, which we'll get to after the game, we Old Dominion is going to be going against at least 3 triple option teams this year, including Georgia State. See, now that was the same play we threw a pick on just a minute ago. That time it looked like that slant was potentially open, but with the last time being an interception, we couldn't trust that. Understandable. Just take it and run and take your 9 yards. 3rd and 1, going with a run right up the gut. Looks like we got some room, but a huge user hit stick by Georgia State. Maxey gets down there and lays the absolute wood on Cameron Bolden. What a hit by the Panthers defense. They're jarring that ball loose, giving Georgia State the ball back in the red zone with 4 minutes to go. Yeah, we got Georgia State, we got East Carolina, who are actually going to watch a little bit of them here in just a second, or at least at the end of this game, whenever that may be. And then there's one, I believe Georgia Southern is running some version of an option offense as well. So it's going to be an interesting challenge in our updated Sun Belt. We're running a version of option, at least for now. We'll see when conference play comes. I just am addicted to changing playbooks. I can't stay in one for too long. It's a curse. What to tell you. But again, there goes that little rocket motion, but it's actually a counter option going back out to Jackson, picking up 4 yards, 7 rushes for 103 now, 225 all-purpose yards for KJ Jackson with that big touchdown. So it seems like, I mean, this is kind of doubling as a scouting. We don't play Georgia State for a long time, so a lot might change between then and now. But it seems like that Jackson is kind of our number 1 threat. Jackson's now taking the fullback spot, and we're going to the dive or the rocket toss out to Peyton, and he's getting to the pylon. Interesting. So I wonder if that was like a wear and tear thing or something Georgia State did on purpose, moving Jackson to the fullback and having Peyton be the one for that rocket toss. I don't remember their speed offhand, but if that's something you did on purpose, kudos to you. That is going to pretty much do it for this one. It is an 18-point game now, 3.5 minutes to go. The final score ends up being 42-17. Georgia State does get on the board one more time. We can just go ahead and pause this. But yeah, like I thought watching that game, total offense-wise, 309 for Georgia State to 303 for Western Kentucky. The offense was able to move for the Hilltoppers. The problem comes down here with the 6 turnovers. Believe it or not, it can be tough to win a game when you turn the ball over 6 times. So congratulations to Havs, starting off the season with a win. Cord, I liked what I saw out of the Rice playbook. I believe I saw you changed back to Western Kentucky, or not Western Kentucky, West Virginia after this, maybe. I don't know. But I liked what I saw out of Rice. It's just we got to limit, obviously, we got to limit those turnovers. So now we have got a little bit of bonus coverage coming your way here. It is a computer game, but it is a very exciting one with East Carolina taking on FAU, a tie ball game with 49 seconds left. Florida Atlantic just tied it, kicking it off to ECU. Let's see if Y and his ECU Pirates can get down there and shock all the fans here in Boca Raton. And East Carolina is also a triple option team. Who are we playing? East Carolina? I can't keep them all straight. I don't think so. No, we are, because they're in the Sun Belt. So they are going to be one of our triple option teams that we are going up against. I don't remember exactly which one they are in, but it doesn't really matter at this point. We're just watching the last 35 seconds here tick off the clock, staying in some shotgun offense, trying to move the ball down the field, going back to that swing, this time out to the right, fighting through the shadows, trying to fight through the defender, gets brought down after a gain of 6, ball at the 41. And with the kickers we have, I have no idea how close we have to get here. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. 28 seconds. Gosh, these camera angles. It's like, who was it? Was it Texas State Crayon Eater who was running the veer and shoot? Going with a little play action rollout over here to the left for East Carolina. There's the play action. There's the rollout. We could try to throw that to B, but we got some good speed at our quarterback. Why risk it when you can just take off like that with your quarterback? Moves him down to the 30. Is that close enough? I don't know. There's the ECU mascot. Speaking of which, we actually got a live photo from Y, who actually went to the East Carolina FIU game in real life. And the mascot hanging out on the sideline there. Those look like really good seats. Ball at the 40-yard line. That close. I mean, that's got to be pretty dang close. But yeah, East Carolina mascot having a great time over on the sideline, trying to keep morale high here as ECU looks to start 2027 with a win. I love those red, white, and blue helmets. Another team with great uniforms, East Carolina. I was very tempted to go to Kent State because I think their uniforms are awesome. Team's not great, but next year, keep in mind, I might be taking Kent State. So 16 seconds left. Ball at 36. We lost 7 yards on that last one. Going with a halfback seam right up the middle. Tried to pass lead that inside, but the FAU. We had FIU earlier. You can understand the confusion. All over that one. Knocks that one loose. I mean, we definitely need some yards. Let's see. What is it? He said they need about 4 more yards to be comfortable kicking with this kicker. But with the stadium pulse, we would like to get a whole heck of a lot closer than that. Pressing on the outside. Going back with that comeback. Looks like we're calling that same little boot out to the left. Heck, it worked pretty dang well last time. Why not try it one more time, see if we can get around? We certainly can. You could throw that to A, you could throw that to B, or just take the safe option and keep it your dang self with your quarterback. 4 seconds to go. Do we risk running one more play here? No, why? I mean, you're on the left hash on the road. That's not an easy kick. Maybe like a fullback dive going to the right or something. That shouldn't take 4 seconds, but do you really want to risk that? Or just take your 3 right now? I feel like you should probably just take your 3 right now, but I wouldn't hate like a flexbone, normal, close, tight, any of the flexbones, and just like a fullback, not a wingback dive. That would take way too long, but something like a fullback dive. We are just going to take our 3 here. 4 seconds to go. 26-yard kick. Stadium pulse is awful quiet. Wind blowing to the left on the left hash. Let's see what number 90, the kicker for ECU, is ice. The kick is up, and it squeaks past the right upright, and East Carolina is going to come away with the victory in this one in week 0. Fun stuff all around. Really just fun week 0, fun Dynasty. Been having a blast with it. I don't remember if I even mentioned in the beginning of this, but if you are interested in joining the Dynasty, we do not have any open spots as of right now, but if you want on the wait list, the Discord is gonna be the best place for that, and that is in the link tree in the description. So that wraps up our week 0 game of the week, all the other fun things that went on. Let's take a look at how our conference standings are looking after week 0. Of course, a lot of teams didn't play any games, but for those of us that did, here's how we're sitting. I'll get rid of my face here so you guys can see the full thing. In our Sun Belt division, or conference, excuse me, James Madison 1-0, ODU, Georgia Southern, Georgia State, and ECU. We actually had a lot of Sun Belt teams play. Everyone but USF and App State had a week 0 game. FIU, we saw take that tough loss to Utah State. Like I said, we are going to take a tough loss to Utah State too, so I ain't going to hold that against you. The American Conference, we only saw 1 game played. Western Kentucky took a tough L there. I really did like what we saw out of that offense, though. I wouldn't give up on Rice just yet if I was Cord and Western Kentucky. I think that team is set up all right for it with that backfield and that quarterback. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about all the new teams and all these too. Rambling too much. I just lose my mind sometimes. So in the Sun Belt, of course, the new teams in here are going to be James Madison and ourselves, Old Dominion, coming over from the American Conference, as well as Florida International, who came over from Conference USA. I think there was actually USF too. I think there were 4 new teams in here: USF, ODU, FIU, JMU, a lot of initials. American Conference welcomes in the defending Sun Belt champions, the Marshall Thundering Herd, also new to the American, and just to the Dynasty as a whole, the Army Black Knights. This was the Arkansas State coach decided to take up arms and go join the Army. He took over the Black Knights there. Then Western Kentucky from the Sun Belt moved to the American, much like Marshall. Then our Conference USA, this is mostly the same. We do have 3 new teams in here. Defending champion Louisiana Raging Cajuns, ranked number 19 in the country. Texas State, the defending runner-ups, back-to-back of Conference USA. Rice, of course, is going to be very tough. We know this Rice team is good. This top 3, COSA as a whole, is going to be a heck of a gauntlet this year. It's going to be a really, really fun conference to watch. North Texas started their season off with a ranked win against Texas State, gets them to 1-0. Brand new user here, Gravediggers, and then the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. We'll see what he's got. We actually play them in week 2, so we will see them before too long. Southern Mississippi, new team, Sam Houston. This was our old USF coach, Smash, decided to take up in Houston and take over the Bearcats with a K, and UAB moved into Conference USA. Our last conference look at the Mountain West. We saw Utah State come off that win, 87 overall. Not the highest overall between all the user teams, believe it or not, at the start of year 3. I don't know how these guys do it. We're seeing a big separation of the people who know what they're doing in Dynasty and the people that don't, like me. We're getting left behind a little bit. But Utah State, Tulsa, new team, Oregon State. This was the Troy coach, took over the Beavers. Another new team, kind of. They were in year 1. They got dropped. We're out for year 2. Now they are back. Colorado State, this was our Delaware coach, Blitz, taking over the Rams. UNLV, Fresno State, and San Diego State, all still in the Mountain West. Then New Mexico State was taken over by our old UTSA coach, K, taking over the Aggies. That's going to be a rough one at 57 overall, but hey, he's already 1-0. And I apologize if you're watching this one, K. I know we do our custom schedules and he wanted Texas off, and I could have swore I know I did it, and then I guess it just didn't save or something. So unfortunately, he's going to still have to play Texas next week. Sorry about that. But our highest overall team is actually James Madison in the Sun Belt. This is going to be a heck of a gauntlet between all the conferences, really. I don't think there's any really clear favorites. I do think James Madison's probably the favorite in the Sun Belt. Heck, why not? I'll just go through and pick the favorites before each season starts. Why not rile a few people up? Sunbelt, I'd got James Madison as the odds-on favorite in here. FIU, ODU, we just saw Georgia State played really well. Georgia Southern, I'm not sure what to expect. That's a new user. USF's a new user. We know App State's very solid, and ECU in that triple option could be all are going to give really, really tough challenges all throughout the season, but my money would be on James Madison. In the American, gosh, I don't know. I think I'd put it between these two. Marshall, the defending Sun Belt champions, we know he's very good. Toledo beat us last year, won the American last year. This is going to be a heck of a battle between these two all year long. Cord, I expect to put it together throughout the year. I mean, we saw good things out of that offense. He's not going to have 6 turnovers every single game, so he's going to be in the mix all season long. Navy's very solid. Buffalo's got a really good team put together at 79 overall. Temple's always can put up a fight. Army, I'm not sure what to expect. At least they are 74 overall for a brand new team. You just never really know what it's going to be year over year. And then another triple option team with Bowling Green. Always some wild cards we can throw into the mix. If I had to pick one, I'd pick Toledo to repeat as American Conference champions if I had to pick one. That's a really tough one. Speaking of a really tough one, is going to be Conference USA. Louisiana was a national semifinalist last year. Texas State's back-to-back appearances in their conference title games. Rice. It's just, there's so many unknowns in this conference, though. I mean, safe money would be on Louisiana to repeat, because that offense is just so difficult to stop, and he's got such good players in just the right spots. I have to go Louisiana in Conference USA, but we're keeping eyes on this race throughout the entire season. I think this is going to be a fantastic conference, top to bottom, throughout the year. Very, very excited to see what ends up happening in Conference USA. Mountain West, again, I'm just taking the safe pick of Utah State. I mean, 87 overall, a defending champion, defending Mountain West and national champion, won back-to-back Heismans. That's a really, really tough squad. But Tulsa and Wes, we saw him in a game of the week last year where he built an unbelievable defense with a great defensive line, and just something like that is all you really need to be able to get up there and make some noise and make some things happen. So keep your eyes on Tulsa. Or the rest, I'm not entirely sure what to expect. We know UNLV is very tough in that veer and shoot offense, and just a lot of these guys I haven't really seen too much yet. We've got a lot of these guys that are somewhat new to the Dynasty. They either joined like last year, and we just haven't really seen a ton of them, so I can't really give great opinions on a lot of these guys. But I know these top two are going to be a battle. We know UNLV is going to be in there. I mean, Oregon State, they lost 35-21 against James Madison. That's one of the best anybody's done against James Madison. That guy, Supersonic, was just blasting people all year long. So of course it's easy to be disappointed after losing your first game, but to only lose that by 14 against a team like JMU, I think you're on the right track there with Oregon State. So overall, I think this is going to be a super, super fun season. I'm hoping to get 3, maybe even 4 teams in the playoffs this year. Only time will tell. But that is going to wrap up our week 0. There I go, just rambling again when I say I don't want to. But that's going to wrap up our week 0. We'll be back. ODU is actually on bye in week 1, so we'll only have a game of the week for week 1. Then we have the user games and all that stuff. We'll have user games and game of the weeks, all that coming at you. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I will see you next time. Until then, take it easy.